Hello scientists, I'm Ezekiel's Wolf. Welcome back to the gaming facility. So before we start this episode, which is episode 8 in a Let's Play series that I've got running for Abiotic Factor, I just want to give a huge thank you to everybody who's subscribed and everybody who's watching my videos. I've recently qualified for the first tier of the YouTube Partner Program, which is just insane to me that there are enough people out there who have supported my content for that to even be a thing. So thank you to everybody who's watched my content, everybody who comments, everybody who's subscribed. That this wouldn't have been accomplished without you. So thank you so much. You know, just as like an idiot video gamer making content, it feels weird to have anybody watching any of this. So first of all, thank you for that. That is just absolutely huge. The next thing is I got a comment in a previous video from Liza Paradox 1892 about the employee locator. Apparently it works with NPCs. So that's one of the things I'm going to check out in this episode. I'm also going to tend to the farm a little bit more. And we're actually going to look at progressing some of the story more. The big reason to progress the story is that a lot of your resources and blueprints and equipment are locked behind.
Blood sugar falling.
Yes, I'm hungry. A lot of the story progression locks blueprints behind that. So as you progress the story in the game, you'll unlock more resources and more blueprints. So we're going to be looking at doing some of that today. Now, I've been able to go through and slowly start to build up a little bit of backlog of food, so I don't have to worry about going and finding food when I'm hungry, which is handy. Now, I've had a little bit of a look when I haven't been recording, and it's the peccary skull that I need for the locator, so I'm going to grab that. So, pop some of this stuff away. Don't need that. So we're going to go and grab the locator and just see exactly how that works. Or actually, I might come over and...
Oh dear. I really must use the restroom.
Order my farm. So there's a little light on the top that will light up when you're low on water. And as we can see, these have actually come to their full growth, so they're harvestable now. The great thing about farms as well is I can actually leave these on here and they won't decay. It also won't grow anymore, but I can leave them there and they won't decay. But the great thing is now is that I have a sustainable food supply. Okay, so something that I forgot, because I haven't done this in a while. When you are transferring items between your inventory and storage, the durability or the decay in the case of food will take on the property of whatever is the receiving stack. So what this means is all of these tomatoes now, even when I split them, will now all be at much lower stack. This also works in the opposite way. So say I had a stack here that was this low, one here that was completely full. By transferring these over, it would refresh that stack so that they would have a full decay bar. It's not too much of a headache or a concern to worry about right now, but it is something to be aware of if you are doing farming or you are doing a lot of fishing and you come back and you just dump everything in and then you're wondering why things are decaying quicker. That's what's going on. So just be aware of that. It's it's not a huge problem for me to deal with in the short term. I'm sort of on top of hunger and everything, but it is one of those weird little quirks of the mechanics of the game and just how it handles stacks that you need to be aware of. I'm going to get a little bit of rest first before we venture out and make some story progress. Now, I do know that I will need energy bricks for the trip ahead. I'm also going to need more ammo for my crossbow. Come in here, make a couple of those, and that's leveled up our crafting. So I normally like to have a couple of stacks of ammo ready to go. Yes, you can pick up some ammo off of enemies that you've killed after you've fired crossbow bolts into them, but I like to make sure that I've got a couple of stacks ready to go. So I'm going to go through and get rid of some of these as well, because we don't need those recipes up anymore. Bed. So that's power shutting off, but that's okay. That's not going to be a huge problem for us. I think Shopinator was the other one. Yep. I do like us. I do want to make some energy bricks as well. I might. Wrong thing. So, energy bricks can be used around the facility to power certain things and open certain doors. It's not to be confused with the power cell that we need to get for the forklift. That is something completely different. But just having a couple of these ready to go is going to make our life a little bit easier again. So we'll run out here. Just going to set that to recharge now. Now, we'll see here that it's a little bit hard to see, dark. But this is actually empty at the moment, and there's no robot running around because in the last episode, we attacked it until it came online during the day, and it walked into the Chopinator. Now, I'm going to just plug the Chopinator in again, just so that's wearing and ready to go, and that battery should be enough to keep it going for the entire duration of the night. If not, I can come back and add another battery to it. It's not a huge headache or concern to worry about. The Chopinator as well does lose some of its durability in the process of dealing with the robots, but that's something that we can come with a hammer and repair fairly easily as well. So, okay, so grab vacuum. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to Warren, and I'm gonna trade this peccary skull with him.
You're welcome.
Let's see how this works. Signal beacon. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. Okay, so I think... Right, so it actually locates and shows me through the walls where they are. That's really handy, so I can see that there's one sitting over there, there's Warren, there's the security guard up there who wasn't doing too flash. So that's actually really useful. So thank you to Liza Paradox 1892 for that piece of information. That's actually really handy early game to know exactly where NPCs are, particularly if you're not familiar with the game or you're still learning how the game works and everything, where everything is. So that's very useful information. So much appreciated for that comment. We'll recharge this torch as well. Let's see, while that is recharging, I am going to get rid of that. Okay, so from here, what I think we might do is progress the story. So in a previous episode, we ran down this way and spoke to one of the workers who had been injured, and he told us that we need to find someone to talk to about the power cells. So you can actually do that by coming up through the office, through the reception area. I'm just going to use this opportunity to swing and a miss. There we go. Increase my accuracy as well. So now I have explained previously, but the way accuracy works is you'll see how it's moving quite slowly with the blue dot. As you aim further away, it speeds up, so it maintains that pattern, whether it's moving fast or slow, but it moves a lot quicker, which makes it a lot harder. As your accuracy increases, you'll be able to aim further and further away before it changes from that blue dot to the red dot. We'll cut this up and yeah, nice, get some more food items. And we can't use that yet, but that's fine. And we can see now with the locator that there's somebody up there, so we might as well go and try and have a chat with them. Now this water's electrified, which, you know, is pretty obvious, pretty self-evident. I always end up getting electrocuted at some stage or another. Just like that. Absolutely crushing it. Okay, so come over here, we'll check out this terminal. Again, it's worthwhile checking out these terminals. They'll give you notes or information or recipes. So we can see I now have the recipe for raw peccary sausages, which is excellent. So that's now something I'll be able to cook, prepare and cook using my cooking station. I don't think I can actually get high enough to jump up there. Oh, oh well.
Stop!
Oh!
A little bit of electricity never hurt anyone. Sure, a lot can kill you though. Okay, so
Well, I knew this would happen. Ever since Varenkov's team took over Silo 3, you couldn't get a single power cell after that. Now look. They're precious antiverses, totally out of control.
okay, so that's given us more information to open Silo 3 to retrieve the power cells. I'm just going to drop that and drop that. I will prioritize pipes and gauges over glass and cloth any day. And let's drop down into here. Again, there's these all over the place. But I will leave it up to all of you to unlock that kind of stuff. I don't really want to ruin that for people going through and playing. So these are little jump pads. And you can use these to shortcut to various places. I don't really use them a lot. No particular reason, I just never have. And we can package that down. Now, when you package stuff down and it's still got things in it, it's going to have a loot bag that'll just contain all of the stuff that was in the bag itself. What else can I get rid of? Let's drop the paper scrap as well. So that's just that office. So I'm going to go back and drop all these supplies off. We can't get in there. That's okay. The area that we're going to go to is where I'm going to need to use the energy brick next, or one of the energy bricks that I've made. So that was to be expected. I knew that was coming up, so I was able to plan ahead for it. We are also getting to a stage where it's going to be worth considering utilizing trolley carts that we can make as well. So the trolley carts, so the platform carts can be used to transport goods. My understanding is that you can also fill them up and then use there's a button out near Warren that you can use to send everything back. So my understanding is that when you do that, all the carts that you have get teleported to that button, and you can actually use them to teleport all of the equipment that they're holding back to Warren as well. So actually, I'm not going to pop that there. I'll just put it over here for now. So huge filing cabinets can be useful because they've got a decent amount of storage space. The only thing they don't have is radiation protection. So if you've got irradiated items, that's still going to seep out the way that it normally would, as opposed to stuff like the refrigerator, where it's got that shielding as part of it. Okay, so we've got that. So from here, we're going to go and unlock the next part of story progression. So we just run up here through the reception area, around here, where we've previously been to grab some of the water coolers. When I come over here and use that to repair this door. Now we can also open this door here, which shortcuts us to where the injured worker was in the previous episode with the requirement for the power cell.
Try level 3, the power cells, energy research team.
So we're about to head into our first border world as well. So Exors are sort of the next step up from the Peccaries as far as enemy types, or as far as enemies. So I like to go through and read all those when I can. Let's see. So iodine tablets are good for getting rid of radiation as well. So, a little bit irradiated at the moment. So I can take that, and now we can see that the radiation is being sorted. So it's even got a thing on here about taking iodine, so... Alright. And here we go. Some of my equipment isn't calibrated to this new portal world. Okay, well, yeah, that might be the employee locator that it's talking about. Which is the first time that I've seen that, actually, so as we go through and collect more things, so we've got some antivirus wheat, but that's actually given us a recipe for souped up tomatoes, which is very cool. This is another spot where if you wanted to, you can sort of walk away from your computer for a little bit and let it do its thing, and you'll level up sneaking just by standing there. That guy doesn't turn around until you attack, so, or until it spots you, so you can walk away fairly comfortably and not worry about having to deal with it at all. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can tackle this. You can go at it with the throwing net and the pipe club to work on melee stuff, or the makeshift crossbow and throwing nets. I tend to use the crossbow because I like to get the accuracy built up for it. And you just want to make sure that you're strafing back left and right, and as long as you're doing that, you typically won't be able to hear you. You'll be fine. He does bounce around a bit, and unfortunately has a habit of portaling away as soon as you've fired. Excellent, there we go. Now, you want to make sure when you come into this world that you do bring a knife with you, because the XORs will drop XOR hearts, and these are actually very useful for some of the upgrades that we want to be able to make, which I will be able to talk about in the next episode. So, I'm in a little bit of a dicey situation at the moment. I'm just going to use that healing salve that I've been carrying around, boost my health up again. Yeah, also got the Geiger counter from this fella who's seen better days. So, picking up wild plants and stuff, it's going to level your agriculture as well. So coming through and farming natural plants from all these locations is fairly beneficial as far as leveling up your agriculture. So, know that I can walk through into here somewhere. It's gonna be down in there. That's right. Oh, managed to miss him. I really suck early on with this. That's alright. If you do get too close, then they will actually melee attack you as well, so it's just something to be conscious of. should go down in the next couple of bolts. Come back here. Excellent. So we've got him sorted. Get XOR heart and makeshift bolt. Okay. So from here, we can get back to our base after we port out of here. There's going to be this here that you can listen to as well. Grab the antivirus. Wait. Okay, so we'll jump through. We'll head back to base. Now this is going to teleport us back to a different area than where we started. Whoop. Okay, so, and I've actually managed to hurt my leg. That's not ideal, but that's alright. You can deal with that. I believe there's a peccary that's normally around here. Yep. So we'll just deal with that little fella. Now you'll notice that I've got some bubbles that are sort of gravitating towards me. So this is the hygroscopic buff. When you leave each of the portal realms through the final portal, you'll get some sort of buff that's usually beneficial. So in this case, this one sort of deals with my thirst, which is a nice little feature to have there. Okay, so what I can do from here is I can now unlock this door. This just takes us back to this elevator that we used to get up here in the first place. And from here, I'm just going to head back to base. So that sort of covers everything that I wanted to cover in this episode. I'm also working on putting together a video of tips when it comes to setting up your base. So that should be out in the next couple of days. And I'm going to continue working on this Let's Play series as well. And there'll be a couple of things that I cover in the next video, particularly that'll focus on stuff that we can do with like the XOR hearts, and be able to utilize some of these things that we've gone and gotten during our adventures. Cool. Well, until next time, don't forget to be awesome.